Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Aki from Aki's Place. I don't know, I've been doing this for a while, but it still looks, I'm so awkward still like filming because it's been a while as well. But thank you so much for coming. Today I wanted to talk about my tips on how to get your Hoyas to bloom. I feel like I'm finally at the point where I can maybe tell you or share my experience, what I did differently from because I had Hoya for like 3 years and I couldn't get them to bloom for a long time. But I can finally say that I have a few things I did differently, and they started to, like, peduncles started to activate. So just wanted to show you, and I have 2 Hoyas that are blooming right now. The first one is here. This is pretty much done because it's been blooming for a week. But this is Hoya Pachuclota, and this is really big. The leaf itself is big. It's almost like an ovada, like size of a Hoya ovada, but they're not round. But they're really thick and big. But yeah, flowers are so big as well, and they were blooming for about a week now. I think it's done. It's starting to close again, and it's probably going to drop soon. But I have a time-lapse video of this Hoya Pachuclota blooming. If you're interested, you could check there. I have a link on the description. And it smelled like lily, and also the nectar. I tasted the nectar. It tasted really good. It tasted like I don't know, it's like, it brings me up a memory when I was a kid. I don't think you smell anything, Wes. I think it's done. When I was a kid, like walking home from school, we would just like taste the honeysuckle nectar. I think it's only my generation. But yeah, that's the Hoya Pachuclota. And then this one bloomed yesterday, and this is called Hoya of Sakura. This is a bit more fuzzy looking flowers, so it's a little bit different from Pachuclota and the other Hoyas that I had that was blooming. And this one also smells like lily too. They're kind of similar, but not exactly the same. I think this one smells a lot more sweeter. And yeah, I really love this. I wasn't really into like fuzzy looking flower when I saw it on Instagram, well, but when you see it in person, it's really pretty. They're really adorable. I will have a better video of a zoom closer up video and after the video because it's not focusing. But so this is blooming from yesterday, and then like weeks before, I had Hoya Fichii that was blooming as well. And I have another Hoya that's constantly blooming, which is Hoya Public Calyx Royal Hawaiian Purple. That's been blooming for me like every 2-3 months. So it was blooming like last month, I guess. I will have all the picture of the Hoyas that bloom under my care. And I also have one other Hoya that's called Hoya Hucangeliana or Hucangeliana, I think that's what it is. But that's been also constantly blooming. But that was like, I had a peduncle when my plant friend gave it to me, and so it's not really my undercare that's blooming. I think it just blooms non-stop. So, but anyway, so my care tips growing Hoya would be, I treat it like a succulent, so I don't water that much, and the soil mix is very chunky. I mix it with like 50% of potting soil, like house potting mix, and then 30% of orchid barks. I like to use this brand here because it has very chunky barks and the perlite, and also has activated charcoal. I really like, I don't know why, like, I can't remember the reason, but I do like to use activated charcoals in all of my soil mix. It just, it cleans the water, I guess, like a filter, you know, it cleans the water, and then it also, it's very airy, so it's like a perlite, same as perlite. And so I mix this, so 50% soil, 30% orchid mix. And then I add another, yes, you can have that, yes. And add another 10% of perlite, and then what I did differently from this year is I add 10% of worm casting, which is worm poops. I did buy worm casting this time. This is the brand I found at the local nursery. It's a Sheridan nursery, but this bag, it was like maybe $14, I think. So it's a lot. Like, you don't use that much anyway. So this lasts me a long time. But I started having my worm farms as well to get some worm casting in the future. But so I add 10% of the worm casting, and this made a big change as well. And yeah, the leaves, size of the leaves got a lot bigger. And then also yeah, these like peduncles, like, yeah, I had this plant for a year, and then I started, like, I think I sprinkled, it was already potted, so I sprinkled some worm casting on the top. And then I guess it's been a few months, and I noticed this peduncles starting to activate. And same as these, like, most of the pots I didn't want to, I was too lazy repotting, so I sprinkled some worm casting on the top a little bit, and then it started to yeah, like most of the Fichii as well, like, started to activate. The peduncles start to activate, or it started to have peduncle. And that's one of the big thing I did. And also I do use this, like, I seen a lot of videos saying that this is good for Hoya to bloom, but like, honestly, I did use it once a week long time ago, like maybe 2 years ago. I used to like miss every week, but now I'm too lazy. I forget, and then I never miss. And then, like, when I see this bottle, I miss. So it's like maybe once a month I might miss it, but I don't know how it, like, I can really tell the effect, like how much effective this was. So I don't know, I'm not sure, like, I do it once a month or nothing, so I'm not quite sure how effective this is. But, and also another thing that that made a big difference that I made this year was that I got another grow light. So they're all under grow light, and I have a new one up here. I have it turned off because it's too bright. But the top one is 6,000 Kelvin, and the one on the bottom here is 5,000 Kelvin, I think. And this was the original grow light that I had. And then I added the 6,000 Kelvin. Well, I think they're both full spectrum, but the top ones, so all my Hoyas are on the top shelf, and most of them start to have produced peduncles using this grow light. So I'm assuming 6,000 Kelvin works better than the 5,000 Kelvin. So that's another big thing. I think it's the light. The light is very important factor for the Hoyas to bloom. The other Hoya, the Royal Hawaiian Purple, right by the window, I had it moved back here last year, but then, like, as soon as I moved it back on the window side again, it was the peduncle, like, start to activate nonstop. So I think that's the sign, because it's getting a really good I have a southeast facing big window, so it gets like 4 hours of direct morning gentle light. So I think the lighting is very big factor to getting your Hoyas to bloom. So if you don't have any, if you think your lighting is not so good, you should definitely look into a good grow light, or just have it by the window. I think that's like the best way. I also moved my Hoya ovibata by the window, and now have 2 peduncles that are activating. So it's definitely lighting, plus the fertilizer, worm casting fertilizer that I use. And I think that's pretty much it. I water, well, I do it, I can't like wait until like to check every plant to see which are dried or not, so I just do weekly watering. But these days I'm getting really lazy, so it's been like, try to do once a week, but these days it's been like once in 10 days. So definitely have, like, I don't overwater a lot, so it just, like, I'm pretty sure, like, after a week it gets really dry. And also for like people say that Hoya likes to root bound. I think I need to get rid of this water. I don't know how long this water's been. Yeah, so I just noticed how root bound this pot was, but I'm not really sure root bound is necessarily like connected to Hoya blooming, but because this one is root bound, but this one is not really. I mean, this isn't a pretty big pot and I don't see roots coming out. Well, I do see a little bit, but it's not really coming out. So as long as they're in a like fitted pot, then I think it's okay. I don't think it's, in my opinion, I don't think it's that matter, you know? So that would be it, I guess. And water, I just use, mostly, I do have 2 fish tanks, so I do use the fish tank water to water them. So that could be another, kind of like a water fertilizer, but then I get lazy and use the tap water too when I skip the fish tank cleaning and didn't really go with the plant watering routine. So it's not every time that I use the fish tank water. So I think the big thing that I change would be warm casting, adding warm casting, and then yeah, the grow light and the light right by the window. Either have it under the proper full spectrum grow light or right by the window where it gets really good lighting would be 2 big things that I change. And now like everything's starting to bloom. So that would be my tips, I guess. And also what was I going to say? I can't remember. What is it? Oh, humidity. They said that, you know, high humidity is better, but my house stays around like 50%. I do have a humidifier right here by the shelf, but during the summer, it was never activated. Like I have it set for 50%, but it's always around 55%. So I didn't, like, it wasn't turning on. So that's not really big. I guess 50, around 50%. If you have it around 50%, then I think that's okay. It doesn't have to be like 80% or 90%. Because I do have a greenhouse, the IKEA cabinet, but my like, to be honest, like I cannot figure this out because I have routine going on, and then like I guess in here you get more humidity. Right now it's about 60%, but if I do the watering cycle same as this shelf, and then like I kill some of the plant because apparently I was overwatering. So it's really hard to adjust when it's in the greenhouse. Like in my opinion, it's really hard to like control like the timing. I guess I really need to stick my finger to check, but I'm also lazy too. But so most of the Hoya, I end up moving it back here, back on the shelf, and I do still have some in there, but yeah, fuzzy Hoya seem to do okay in a cabinet. But the thin leaves Hoya, like my Polinera and Sigilius is struggling because I don't know. It's like for me, my experience, the leaves with you coming up, thinner. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry guys, the fire alarm. Our condo is very sensitive with the detector. Anyway, so yeah, I do struggle with the thin leaves, like Hoya thin leaves like Polinera and Sigillus. But other than that, like thick Hoyas was my care, what I just explained. I think they do very well. So that would be my tips for you. And so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.